This is Let's Talk Big, the Big Read, with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is What My Bones Know by acclaimed journalist Stephanie Fu. It's the story of her reckoning and healing by investigating the little understood science behind complex PTSD and how it's shaped her life. Here, sharing their insight about the book, What My Bones Know, is Owens Community College Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
On today's segment, we have with us
Christine Smith.
Christine, hello. Jane,
Yes.
tell us about the Human Library first.
For those of you who don't know, and though I'm not quite sure how you might not know, because I have hung posters all over campus and I have been inundating email boxes, this is our third Human Library that we have offered here at Owens Community College. The goal of a Human Library is to open conversations on topics that have been stigmatized or in other ways made to be uncomfortable topics for conversation. Perhaps someone has been judged or been affected by discrimination. It could be on anything, a lifestyle, a particular religion that they follow, what they choose to wear, their decisions to get tattoos. It could be anything. They may have experienced some sort of discrimination. So with the Human Library, we are hoping that people's minds will be opened and they will leave after having an experience or multiple experiences talking to our human books, and they will unjudge someone that they may have previously held a bias toward. Our Human Library this year is on Thursday, November 3rd from 10 to noon in Heritage Hall 123. We will have anywhere between 10 to 14 books for you to peruse, 15-minute conversations with a book, and I guarantee you will look at some topics a little bit differently, maybe a little more empathetically, but definitely you will be changed after talking to a book in our Human Library.
And it's important to say that you do not have to stay the whole time. You can come and check out one or two books. You don't have to check out all 10 to 14
Correct.
of those books. Even if you came, sat down, talked to one, maybe two different books, and then left, that's still important. So in between that time, between 10 and noon, please come out to Heritage Hall 123 or 123, whichever you prefer. Sit down and have a conversation with someone, learn about something different. So speaking of a different perspective here, Christine, tell us about what you might be talking about.
Well, I'm going to be talking about the loss of family members due to suicide. I've actually lost 3 family members, a nephew, an aunt, and an uncle in the last 7 years to suicide.
I can't even imagine. One would be hard enough to wrap my head around, but in such a short time span as well to have 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ugh. Tell us a little bit about how you felt. Obviously,
Yeah.
you were devastated, but have you found it difficult to gather as a family? Is it like an elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about? How has this affected you as a family group and you personally?
For my nephew, I think it was a little different in how things kind of came out versus my aunt and my uncle. So depending on how the family dealt with it, I think made a big difference. So when my nephew passed away, he was the first one that we lost, and this would be my sister's son. I can tell you, when I went to see her for the first time, all I could think as we were driving, it was about an hour drive, was what was I going to say to her? How was I going to be able to console her in the loss of her son? And I just realized that there was really nothing that I could really do or say, but just be a good listener and not to pretend to know something that I really didn't know. So that was the first thing I said to her is, I can't imagine what you're going through right now, how you are feeling right now, because I have not felt this, but I want you to know I'm here for you. I'm here to listen to anything that you want to talk about, I said, I don't care what time of the day. I don't care if it's the middle of the night. You can call me, and I'm here to listen. Whatever you need, I'm here for.
And sometimes I think we forget just how important listening is. We don't have to have the answers. We don't have the answers for this.
Yes.
And there is nothing we can do to make someone feel better when they've experienced a loss as devastating as this. But sometimes they just need somebody to hear them and let them get those feelings out in a safe place. I really think we underestimate the power of listening a lot in our lives. I know I make a very conscious effort to be a good listener because I
you're
may
a talker?
hear, I was going to say, I may hear you, but already while you're talking, my mind is formulating, well, what am I going to say next? So I may not be listening as thoroughly as I should be.
Right.
It's hard. When you really make that specific effort, you realize how much you just hear and don't necessarily listen. I'm sure that was of great help to your sister, just knowing that you were there and she could come and cry on a shoulder or say how she's feeling. It's hard when you go out into the workplace or social functions. Nobody wants to be brought down with a heavy topic, but this is on her heart. How can she just pretend it didn't happen?
Right. And just letting her talk when she needed to talk. And the one day we were at their house and she said, hey, let's go to the cemetery. I want to show you some things that we did at the cemetery. So that's what we did. And we just went there and saw the decorations and stuff that they did. And it was just very touching to see what they did to memorialize their son. And it really showed how much they missed him.
Yeah.
We just all stood there actually and held hands and kind of cried a little bit together.
She's so lucky to have you, Christine. We are out of time, but please come next Thursday, the 3rd, to Heritage Hall 123 or 123 between 10 and noon. You will have an opportunity to check out Christine as a book and other individuals as well, and hear their stories and learn something and be able to grow in a different way. On behalf of Christine, Jane, our producer, Rob, and myself, I'm Jen Hazel. We will keep talking big next week.
Join us again for Let's Talk Big, the Big Read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.